The girl awoke in darkness. Her lungs burned as if she had swallowed fire, and her ears rang with the echo of explosions she could no longer see. The last memory she clung to was that of a metal corridor splitting apart, flames rushing in, and the desperate command of the colony's automated voice shouting, "Evacuate!" over and over again. Now she floated in a space where silence reigned. Slowly, her eyes adjusted. She was lying inside a cylindrical chamber filled with blue-tinted mist. Transparent walls curved around her, and she realized she was inside some sort of cryogenic pod. Tubes were attached to her arms, and faint hums of machinery pulsed from beneath the floor. She tried to move, but her body was weak. Her lips parted to speak, though no words came out, only a hoarse breath. And then she saw him. Through the foggy glass of the pod, a human face leaned close. He wasn't wearing the insignia of the colony she came from. His eyes were tired but steady, and his features were weathered, as though he had lived a lifetime under alien suns. "You're safe now," he said softly. His voice was deep, carrying both certainty and sorrow. The girl, her name was Arya, blinked rapidly. Safe. The word felt foreign. The last she remembered, their settlement on Kepler 72b had been under siege by raiders. Fires had consumed the domes, oxygen systems had collapsed, and the screams of people she knew had filled the night. She had been sure she would die. Yet here was this stranger, watching her as though her survival mattered. The beginning, a broken world. Hours later, when she was strong enough to sit, Arya was led out of the pod chamber into a sprawling vessel unlike any she had seen before. Its corridors were patched with mismatched metals, some glowing faintly with alien inscriptions, others clearly recycled from human starships long since dismantled. It wasn't sleek like the colonial fleet ships. It was cobbled together, alive with the echoes of scavenging and survival. The man who had rescued her walked beside her without speaking at first. Only when they reached a wide viewport did he stop. Beyond the glass stretched a swirl of stars, and a planet broken into pieces, drifting in fiery fragments across space. "That was your home," he said. Arya gasped. "Kepler 72b. "No, it can't. It's gone," he interrupted, not unkindly. "The raiders didn't just pillage it. They collapsed its core. No one could have survived on the surface." Her knees weakened, and she would have fallen if he hadn't steadied her. Every person she had known, every building she had walked past, every song sung in the colony's assembly hall, it was all gone. "Why me?" she whispered, staring at the wreckage of her world. "Why did you save me?" He finally gave her his name. "My name is Kale," he said. "And I didn't just save you. I saved what you carry." Confused, she turned toward him. "You," he continued, "are the last living witness of your people's history. And whether you understand it now or not, that makes you more important than you realize." The middle, shadows among the stars. Over the next several days, Kale explained pieces of the truth. He wasn't part of the raiders, nor was he affiliated with the distant human authorities who had long since abandoned outer colonies to fend for themselves. He was something in between. Years ago, Kale had deserted the interstellar military after witnessing atrocities committed in the name of resource control. He had spent years salvaging ships, protecting refugees, and fighting off those who preyed on the weak. His vessel, the patchwork ark Arya now walked upon, was both his sanctuary and his weapon. Arya listened in silence as he spoke, often staring out at the stars, feeling like a ghost. Her parents, her friends, her teachers, all erased in an instant. She carried grief too vast for her young frame. One night, she found Kale in the central chamber of the ship, surrounded by holographic projections of star maps. He was plotting something. "You're planning to fight them, aren't you?" she asked. His jaw tightened. "The raiders." "But it's not just them. Someone funds them, arms them, points them toward colonies like yours. This is bigger than piracy. Someone wants the outer settlements erased." Arya's hands clenched. "Then let me help." Cale looked at her for a long moment, then shook his head. "You've lost everything. You should find a new home, a safe place to grow again. This fight is not yours." "But it is," she insisted. "If I walk away, then my people's story ends with me. I won't let that happen." Her determination unsettled him. She was young, fragile in body, but her eyes carried a fire that reminded him of comrades long buried in the silence of space. The rising storm. Weeks passed. Together, Cale and Arya tracked signals through debris fields, listening to encrypted chatter of the raider fleets. They discovered something chilling. The raids weren't random. Each targeted colony had once petitioned for independence from the central government, threatening to control their own mineral rights and energy sources. The raiders weren't just criminals. They were mercenaries hired to do what the government couldn't openly admit to: wipe out dissenting colonies and erase witnesses. Arya's grief hardened into resolve. "Then we have to expose them," she said. "If the galaxy hears what they've done." Cale cut her off bitterly. "The galaxy doesn't care. They'll deny it, bury it, silence anyone who speaks. I've seen it too many times." "Then we make them care," Arya replied. Her voice shook, but she didn't back down. Cale stared at her as though seeing not the fragile girl he had rescued, but something more, a symbol. Perhaps the galaxy wouldn't care for the words of a deserter like him, but the testimony of the last survivor of a destroyed colony. That could not be ignored. The climax, the broadcast. The opportunity came when Cale intercepted a massive raider flagship preparing to strike another settlement. Against all reason, he piloted his patchwork vessel directly into the heart of the fleet, weaving between firestorms of plasma and missiles. Alarm screamed, the hull groaned, and still Cale pressed forward. Arya sat beside him, fear clawing at her chest, but she didn't falter. When they breached the flagship's communication core, Cale transmitted a signal across every available channel. But instead of speaking himself, he turned to Arya. "This is your moment," he said. "Tell them." Her throat was dry, but she stood before the holorecorder. Blue light wrapped around her as the transmission spread across the system, then across relay stations further still. Billions could be watching. "My name is Arya Solin," she began. Her voice trembled at first, but steadied as she continued. "I am the last survivor of Kepler 72b. My colony did not fall to chance, or to some nameless disaster. It was destroyed, its core collapsed, by raiders armed and guided by those who claim to be our protectors. They silence us with fire, but I am still here. And I will not be silent." She lifted her chin, her eyes blazing with the grief of the lost and the defiance of the living. "To those who hear me, remember us. Remember Kepler 72b. If you allow them to erase us, then you may be next. The truth lives in me, and now I give it to you." The words spilled into the cosmos. For a long, agonizing moment, silence answered. Then Cale pointed to the console. "Look." Across the networks, signals flared. Messages poured in: sympathy, outrage, vows of solidarity.